Hi everyone, this is Pat from PSA Custom Creations. I was doing a follow-up video on these Harbor Freight right angle grinders that I have. In the previous video I talked about what I felt was the quality of them, but also some of the issues as far as whether they've been filled with grease or not. Well, I have here three of the different models of right angle grinders in what are considered to be their order of quality. The first one is the cheapest one, the 60625 model. This one was only $9.95 or so on sale. You've got the 91223 heavy duty right angle grinder, and then their version of the professional model from Chicago Electric. In the earlier videos I had talked about the lack of grease inside of the gear case. Now I've been using these things for a couple months now, and someone had asked me to do a follow-up on them. As part of that, what I was going to do is talk about some of the problems I've had. Now this grinder I've only had for a couple months, and it's already dead. It was not working. I had these things set up so that this grinder was going to be only for my cutoff wheels, this grinder obviously for the wire wheel, and then for a flap disc. I've got another grinder which I'm using for a grinding disc. That's my DeWalt one, and I've had no issues with that one. Each of these three I've had a little bit of issues with. I was quite disappointed. I knew I wasn't going to get much for $10 from this one, but again, I was trying to save myself a little bit of time with changing out the wheels, etc. On this particular grinder, right angle grinder, again, it was only set up for cutoff discs, and it died. It died a couple weeks ago. I haven't had time to really do much with it because of the holiday season, but when I was taking the gearbox off, what I'm finding is that, I don't know if you can see it, there's little shavings in there. That's all of these gears, or the tops of all these gears. Right now it's actually doing nothing. The main worm or gear down there seems to be in good condition. It's this part right here where it has ground all of the tops of the teeth off of it. So this one doesn't work anymore. Now for $10 I was not expecting much, but I was expecting it to last more than a month and a half. And that was only using it for a cutoff. Stuff I've been cutting off with it to determine the load or see how much I've been using it. I was cutting scuba tanks, pieces of flat iron, a little bit of angle iron. Nothing really dramatic. I was making a couple good cuts in some scuba tanks, which is only like 1/8 to 1/4 inch steel, but again, not something where this should have died after 2 months. Of course, I didn't buy the warranty on it. I wasn't too worried about it, and I'm getting what I pay for this one. For this grinder, their version of a heavy duty angle grinder, which has 4.5 amps and for a wire wheel. I've been having an issue with this one. When I'm using the wire wheel on it, it actually starts to stall out or slow down. I'm going to turn it on real quick. You can maybe see or hear that it's not, to me, reaching full speed. So under a moderate pressure, just on a piece of plate, using this wheel or this wire wheel, it's starting to slow down. Again, I wasn't expecting much, but I was expecting something a little bit more than that. I'm still going to go ahead and use this until it dies, which who knows how much longer that one will be. Their version of professional grinder, which is item number 65519, this one has 6 amps, so a little bit more power to it. Only issue I've run into this one so far is a little plastic piece for the spindle lock. That, of course, came right off, or came off pretty quickly. And I usually do make it a point to put them on their back. Sometimes, of course, they'll fall over on their sides. This has come off. It is a little bit loose, but it still functions for taking it off. You can use the wrench on there if you want. I tend to do it by hand. So far with this one, I've been pretty happy with it. I've only been using it with my flap disc. So, of these, pretty disappointed in this one. Again, only a month and a half of use. This one's starting to slow down. I may take it apart, try to see if there's stuff inside of the brushes, see if there's dirt or debris. I'm going to take the gear case off just to look at it, but with it slowing down under load, I'm not expecting it to last a whole lot longer. This one I'll continue to use as long as I can. I may try to see if I can figure out if, when this one dies, if I can get the stop button or the arbor lock and put it in this one. Thank you. Alright, with these, so if you wanted a recommendation, skip this one entirely. This is by Drill Master, their cheapest version, only $9. I would skip this one entirely. This one used with reservations, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're probably looking at, this one on a scale of 1 to 10, the mid-range one, it's about that. It's probably only about a 5. The professional version is better, seems to be holding up better. Personally, I prefer the paddle switches versus this one, but then again, there are some advantages to having these types of switches when you're doing a lot of heavy grinding and you just want to put your hands in different positions. Me, I don't tend to always use these handles. As you can see on the 3 of them, I don't have the right angle handle attached, just because of how I use it and what I do with it, trying to get into different spaces, but maybe something you need to use. This one's only about a 5 or 6 because it's starting to slow down under load. This one, their Pro version, you're probably looking at 6 or 7 or